All right, good day to you. My name is Fred Oakman, and as always, with me today is Mr. Jake Peters. He is on a mission to go get some tissues real quick. And we are PS This Is Awesome, a PlayStation podcast. This is episode 317. My God, the number just keeps getting bigger every week. That's how math works. And this is a show where we share our feelings about the current state of PlayStation. Before we get on the show, I want to invite you all to subscribe to our channel on YouTube, youtube.com/PS This Is Awesome. And if you want to make fun of our trophy lists on the PlayStation Network, you can find me at anchorlist_81 and Mr. Jake Peters at jakesaw01. As always, you can write us at psthisisawesome@gmail.com. And most importantly, don't forget to share the show with all your friends. Make sure you leave comments and rate us as you see fit. As a reminder, we're a video podcast as well, so you can watch the show if you want at the YouTube channel. And if you're new, or if you've been around for a while, we do have a Patreon, so you can support the show at a $1 level, and the Patreon tier is called the One and Only $1 Club. So head over to www.patreon.com/PS This Is Awesome. You can become a $1 patron and get a free die-cut vinyl sticker sent to you in the mail if you give us your mailing address when you sign up, and a shout-out on the show. So with all of that out of the way, Mr. Peters, how are you doing today?
I'm going to do my best. I am so incredibly stuffed up, and I don't know if it's the weather. I'm assuming, because I feel fine otherwise, so I'm assuming that it's like the up and down of the temperature. I have to imagine it has more to do with like changes in barometric pressure or something like that. I have a hard time believing that the temperature is the problem, but
yeah,
could be. I don't know. It was like almost 60 degrees earlier in the week, and then yesterday it was like a high of 25, and then like today it's supposed to be in the mid 40s again, and it's just fucking killing me. So I apologize if I sound nasally, if I'm breathing real hard. It's because I can't breathe through my nose. And especially apologize to the people watching this on YouTube, because you might have to see me blow my nose occasionally.
and you're probably going to fucking hear it, which is, I'm not going to edit it out.
I'll mute it. I'll try to mute it if I blow if I blow my nose on the show. But
yeah.
I right before we jumped on, I just like pounded some super spicy salsa.
That sounds amazing.
It does help clear my sinuses out, but it goes away super fast. It's like it works instantly, which is awesome. But as soon as like the spiciness wears off, it just goes away.
You need
so
wasabi.
Like I almost need to just or something. Like I was just thinking like, man, I wish I had like a jar of jalapenos, and like every 10 minutes I could just eat one.
Oh Jesus.
Because it would almost like
a really
do the
good
trick.
idea to get rid of like stuffy noses. Like, dude, if I had a fucking container of wasabi, I would just fucking like, you know, I don't know, like a quarter of a teaspoon just right on the tongue, and just
it'd fuck you up. Well, my concern with doing this, eating all the spiciness though, is like it's got to fuck up your stomach. Like I have to imagine that my stomach, if I just ate spicy shit all day, I would just feel fucking horrible.
True.
So
yeah,
I mean, and I like spicy food, but I'd never sit there and just eat it all day long. So yeah, anyway, I mean, that's kind of how I'm doing. We played that show yesterday. It was pretty cool. Playing, it was packed, man.
dude, we sounded so good. He runs such good fucking sound.
I wish I could get a snapshot into what it sounds like out front, because I couldn't hardly hear myself at all.
Oh, geez.
And Nate was saying that, you know, he was playing a little bit blind too in some spots.
You guys just got to speak up. Tell him. He'll get it hooked up.
I know, but it's just, the thing is that like he was having trouble with his fucking
the light rig
main and shit.
Oh, the
and
mains
then,
were
like,
kind of messed up too.
We didn't actually do a sound check until, you know, 7 minutes before we were supposed to start.
Yeah.
And so,
dude, we sounded good. I'm sure of it.
Yeah, I'm sure it sounded great out front, but yeah, it's like, it's awesome having a sound guy, but it imposes like its own level of stress in that capacity, because it's like, you know, trying to get honestly, if we could just kind of bite the bullet and get in-ears for everyone, I think it would make a huge difference, because then we could just kind of like, especially if he does our sound, because I imagine that we could probably ask him to save a preset for us for our monitors.
Yeah.
And then we could just maybe have him load that every time.
Well, yeah, and I mean, even for us, like, I have the exact same PA thing that he has. So I have the 16, he has like the 20 something. So he just has more channels and but like everything else is exactly the same. So, I mean, he could literally borrow my fucking iPad and just like, once he gets a monitor mix for us, just replicate it on one of the shows on my, and then we'll be fucking set. But like, dude, this is like not a PlayStation podcast right now, but I talked with him. We were talking about our friend Shaner, who does sound in the area. He's clearly, he's a top down best in the area for sure. I've worked with other sound guys. Shaner's like, he's just on top. We've actually booked him once to do sound for us. But so I talked with him, and he said, he was a little drunk when I talked with him, and he was like, dude, any of my gear you want to use, just let me know. Just if you ever need to borrow anything, just go for it. And I'm like, I don't know if that was an actual invitation. So I talked with him at the show on Saturday, and I said, yo, man, that Ironworks show, I said, if we don't have in-ears, we need to, I might reach out for a couple, monitors, and then maybe a sub. And he goes, honestly, I trust it with you. It's not a problem. He goes, just, I'll show you how to hook it up. You come over, I'll explain how to hook it all up, and we've got the same sound thing, so I can just show you on mine, and you'll be set. And I'm like, dude, that's fucking rad. And now I'm thinking, like, if we do that, hey, I'd like to find out what stage we're going to be on, because if we do that, then it's going to be, we are probably going to want to mic some drums, honestly. So I don't know. Anyways, we've talked about it, but like, I do like the idea of practicing with it, but he's so busy as a sound guy. I don't know what will be available when, and then working all our schedules around so that we can play with the extra gear might be tough before, that May show, but we have 2 months. So listeners, these are the things you got to fucking plan for when you book shows. But if we're on that big stage, dude, if we could find a way to get both of his fucking subs, that would be awesome. They're just 18s. They would fit. I don't know. I think it's possible to fucking make it happen. And then it's like, if we're going that all out, then I might fucking get on Sweetwater and get some easy, like, ground lighting to like shoot upwards or something. Just a couple light cans for us. And then we'll just fucking have them. I don't know.
What is that protocol that they use for lighting?
I don't even know. Oh, the way they plug in now?
Well, it's like it allows them to basically do all the light syncing and all that shit.
Yeah.
There's like a controller for it and everything.
Yeah.
God, I wish I could remember.
They make them so they make them with that they can run on like an iPhone now. Like some of those lights, the cheaper ones. And
yeah, dude, it would be cool to have like a whole fucking rig, but you would need,
well, because you would always sound good. You know what I mean? And like,
yeah,
that's how you get better gigs. Is like, if you're using like house shit and you don't have anyone to properly run it, dude, you gotta just fucking buckle down and get it.
I almost like, and I promise we'll get into the fucking podcast, but I almost wonder if we just buckled down and made just like, got the sound, got the fucking lighting, I don't know, smoke machine, whatever.
Smoke machine.
And then we just coordinated just a fucking awesome live experience.
Yeah.
With like all of the bells and whistles.
Yeah.
And you could like somehow get like a professional sort of promo video of that kind of shot.
Yeah.
You could almost sell that as a package more than just the music, right?
Oh,
you could
100%.
be like, hey, it's not
this
just
is what we're bringing every time, right?
Yeah. And so I don't know. It would be kind of interesting. But the thing is that to do that, it's a big investment. Music shit's not cheap.
Yeah.
I mean, it is a lot cheaper than it used to be, but it's still like, if you want to sound good,
dude, one 18-inch sub is like $700 to $800, like one. You know what I mean? So it's just like,
is that a powered sub?
Yeah. But it's just like, fuck, you know? And we have a powered system now, so we have to go that route if we're going to do it. And they interface nice with the 15s that I have. You know, they have like the low pass shelf and stuff on them, 4 subwoofers to connect one speaker straight down to a sub and the other one down to the sub, and it just fucking works. He's fucking DI in, and it just boom. We could have it. It's just a matter of like, it's a money thing, really. That's all it is. And it's kind of a transportation thing because, I mean, I have that trailer and it's all fixed up, but I got no one that can tow it. So,
I could tow it.
Dude, why don't we do that? Why don't you just take my trailer?
I'm not taking your trailer, but if we wanted to load it up, I mean, and then take it to a show.
Well, maybe the Ironworks show we could do that with the speakers and stuff. You know what I mean?
If we're gonna have all that shit, I mean, especially if you decided that you wanted to throw in some like electric stuff, throughout the set, and you wanted to maybe bring another amp with you or
like
something,
a Fender or something, like a Fender Twin to mic in, that'd be nice.
Yeah, I mean. I don't know. Yeah, that's something for another day.
Well, it's fun to think about because, like,
it would be kind of cool.
We're just limiting ourselves, really. But the show was awesome, so yeah, I agree. It was fun. That fucking pizza was amazing. They had wood fired pizza. I'm on a diet, but I checked. I'm officially down 15 pounds.
Oh, good for you.
Which is great. So I'm about 6 to 10 pounds away from where I want to be for running in March. So I think I can get there, dude. I'm just holding fast. But yeah, that pizza, dude, I wanted to, dude, we played the West Side Bowl in Youngstown, Ohio, which is another story. It was a Friday. We went out, One If by Lamb played, and they have 2 stages. This is one of the coolest venues ever. And the listeners are like, Jesus Christ, guys, we don't quit jacking off to one another. But like, so the thing is like, this was like a really cool venue. It's a bowling alley. So I'm rolling in, and there's like nowhere to park. And I'm like, oh, fuck, man. Maybe we're going to have a big crowd. And then I find out, which is stupid, but whatever. It is what it is. There's another show at the exact same time as our show. They have a room downstairs that is more akin to like small DIY punk rock shit. It smells kind of like a bathroom, but everything's mic'd up. They have a great sound system. That's where we played the first time we played there. There's a metal show going on down there, and we're friends with like 2 of the bands. And like, we're not on that stage. We're playing on the stage upstairs, which is like in the fucking bowling alley. So like they have, imagine like, a bowling alley with like 40 lanes, big bowling alley, right? Imagine lane 30 to 40 had just been removed and a stage was put in. And it's really wide. So it's like a real big stage. And then there was like this really big area for like an audience. But while we're fucking playing, you look to your right and there's just all these motherfuckers bowling. And it was you couldn't hear them because we were so fucking loud. But then there were people watching the band too. So there's a show downstairs. There's all these people going out on a Friday night to bowl and listen to live music. And then there's people who came to see the bands upstairs and downstairs. And there's fucking pizza. There's an arcade. And there's a record store in this place. It's fucking awesome.
Yeah, Troy was telling us about it yesterday. It seems pretty rad.
Dude, I'm going to try to get the flood there. It would be so fun. You guys would love it. But so they had their pizza is like, so here's the thing about pizza, right? Here's the thing. It's all good. But you got to like be okay. You got to concede a little bit sometimes on a pizza. Like, it's not the best, but like every pizza tastes a little fucking different. And it's a mystery to me how, some foods like fucking ravioli always taste like ravioli, or spaghetti pretty much always tastes like spaghetti. Pizza, always different, no matter where you get it. Like if you go to Vocelli's, it's all Vocelli's pizza. You go to Pizza Hut, it's all fucking Pizza Hut pizza. If you go to Domino's, it's all Domino's. You start getting into these mom and pop places like Mabel's and Clearfield. I've never tasted a pizza like that. And then West Side Bowl pizza, very obvious it came from them. So these specific fucking tastes. Have you ever thought about that? Like how
I think it's probably mostly the sauce and maybe a little bit of how the crust is seasoned, right?
And the firmness of the crust.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think there is definitely a tactile component to it with like how thick is the crust, how much cheese is on it, all that kind of shit. But I think if you're talking about, like, for example, Sarah and I are fucking lazy when it comes to dinner. So usually we make dinner 4 to 5 days a week. And then usually Friday or Saturday, we'll just get like a frozen pizza from the store. Right?
Yeah, because you're gonna open a whole fucking conversation here.
So you can buy probably 3 to 4 different brands at Walmart. Actually, you probably buy more than that.
Oh yeah, way more
of frozen cheese pizza that's like the deep dish style.
Oh, deep.
Not
okay.
just not all the different not all the different thin crusts, like all like deep dish style cheese pizzas. And in my opinion, every single one of them tastes completely different.
Yeah, they do.
And mostly it seems like it's the sauce that tastes different between them. But there is definitely a texture component to when you're going from one to the next, as far as like, because I'm trying to compare apples to apples here, not like, grandma's old fucking recipe at the West Side Bowl from 1906 and like Pizza Hut. Like those are two different eras of pizza.
There's three main components: cheese, sauce, and crust. And
that's true.
I've never eaten a pizza at a mom and pop place that tasted like anything else I've ever had, pizza-wise. It always tastes like that place specifically. And I don't know why this mystery is a thing, but it's real. Like, it's really, I can't even explain it. Even like the local Pizza Villa, like, we used to have a Pizza Joe's, Fox's Pizza. All these fucking places have a very specific pizza taste.
Do you think it's okay? So I'm going to say there's also probably a ratio too. Because I think that like the ratio of cheese to crust to sauce is a big to me, because I'm not a big like heavy cheese guy. Right. I would rather have more sauce than cheese. My wife is the opposite.
Yeah,
Sarah would rather have more cheese than sauce. And so, like, dude, my wife is a fucking lunatic. She actually will pull the cheese up, scrape the sauce off, and put the fucking cheese back down. She just wants, like, I always tease her about it because she just wants, like, a light sauce flavor. She doesn't want the texture of the sauce, which is a whole nother can of worms.
So she probably hates pizza pizza things. They have a lot of sauce.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Let's fucking talk about video games.
Making me fucking hungry. Yeah. So, yeah, needless to say, man, I had pizza for the first time in a month this weekend. I had it twice. But, like, and then we'll get to games. The West Side Bowl serves these big fucking pizzas. I don't even know how, the square cut, which all, the kind of cut also, I think, influences the taste, to be honest. Somehow.
Well, yeah, because if you get one of those middle pieces on a square cut pizza, I mean, it's literally just all cheese, man.
Cheese and grease. Yeah, right.
Yeah. which I like in its own way. I like to fold that bitch in half and just shove it in my mouth.
There's fucking bad slice of pizza. Like, even that's where I was going. Like, even a shitty kind of tasting pizza is still interesting enough to eat because it's an experience in and of itself. Like, I'm okay with it. The only time I can say that there are pizzas that I don't agree with, it's like whenever people start getting too fucking cheeky with pizza, when they're like making them with like non-standard sauces, or I'm
like putting a shitload of like fucking feta cheese and blue cheese and shit like that on there. I'm like, okay, I can maybe understand it like a like a weird side kind of pizza, but that better not be your standard fucking pizza.
Right. You can color outside the lines from time to time, but like people using like a fucking barbecue sauce on a pizza, I'm not saying it tastes bad. It's just kind of sacrilegious. Yeah. I mean, it can still be good tasting.
Do you remember in Meadville before it was Menino's?
Pizza from Mars? Are you talking about that place?
No. What's the Italian place downtown right beside like the Town Tavern? It's not the Town Tavern anymore, but like on Chestnut Street there.
Yeah, that's Menino's.
It's Menino's, but remember it used to be an Italian place before that, that also had pizza and shit.
don't
We used to
remember
go
that.
there like after the bar and stuff. They used to serve a taco pizza there that was fucking amazing.
Really?
And you could buy it by the slice, and it was literally just like piled with fucking lettuce and shit like that. But like,
Was it called like something like I don't know? Was it an Italian name?
yeah,
Like
it was
Antonio
something.
or
Yeah, it was something. I don't know.
dude, we used to have an
Anyway.
Aldo's at the downtown mall or the uptown mall in Meadville. Did you ever eat it? Oh, Aldi's. Sorry, Aldo's pizza. It was Aldo's pizza. Dude was in there.
Before they tore the mall down.
Yeah,
You're
well,
talking
he
about the
left.
one
He
up-
went. He went to like the Mercer area, but he was this dude. Maybe he went to Sharon, but there was this dude, just like fucking clockwork. If you'd go to the Gold Mine when the arcade was up at the mall, his fucking pizza, you get in that wing of the mall. It's all you could smell, and it was fantastic. It was 100% Italian pizza. You could
Okay.
smell like the fucking oregano and shit.
I do vaguely recall that because I used to go in there to go to like Foot Locker and shit.
Yeah, it was like this scrawny Italian guy named Aldo. And like he just fucking was hand spinning pizzas all fucking day. And just people were in there like, and he left because that mall kind of went to shit. But he went to like the Sharon area, and I guess he has a place. So, dude, I gotta go. I gotta go get some Aldo's pizza. As soon as I get to my goal here, I'm gonna go get some fucking Aldo's. Anyways, yeah, let's
Nice.
talk. Let's move on with the show. Oh, I haven't been taking any notes. Hold on. We only did a couple things so far. We are a PlayStation podcast, by the way. That was just a nice little icebreaker. I like to call the intro. We're going to talk about games that we're playing next. And if I'm being completely transparent, Jake, it's been so fucking busy over here. I've not played anything. But that's not for lack of trying. There were a couple nights, and I've been infected by the same issue that you had last show. And I know that you... I'm guessing now that you've probably been able to get into Helldivers. But earlier this week was the only time I could really do any gaming, and I tried to get in. And a couple days after work, I'd power it on, and it did this thing where like it would like, be like servers are at capacity, and then it'd do like a countdown, and then it'd be like trying again, and then it'd be servers at capacity, do a countdown, then try. And then when I finally got in, I couldn't get anyone to join my squad. Like no one was coming in, so I was like, I don't think I'm really actually connected to any server. I think it just kind of like booted into the ship or whatever. But I have not played anything. Now, had I been able to get in at those moments, I would have had more Helldivers time in. I'm level 14 right now, so I have some time in. What about you? What's going on? What are you playing?
So I beat South Park. Sarah and
Again?
I got through that, and she actually really enjoyed watching me play it. So I downloaded the Fractured But Whole, and we might kind of run because they're easy. They're not like super hard. You can kind of mainline them in like 10 hours, so it's not like it's really a big deal.
Right.
But she really enjoyed it, so I downloaded the other one, but we haven't started it yet. I'm on like the final battle in Immortals of Avium, so I'm really close to the end of that game. I'm trying to get it basically polished off before Final Fantasy comes out this week. And as far as Helldivers goes, I was able to get in one time, and it was at 6 o'clock in the morning. I was able to get in.
Jesus.
And so I replayed the fucking tutorial because I couldn't remember what I was doing. And then I jumped into a match, and it was literally impossible. So I just quit.
I wonder what
and
level
I haven't
it
played
was.
since then. Well, here's the thing. When you finish the tutorial, the only objective that the game gives you is like something about fighting back the automatons.
Oh,
So,
really?
yeah. So
don't do that. No, that's the world. That's the world mission.
So
you don't have to do that.
Okay. So I jumped in
Yeah, the
to like
automatons
the
will
first
fuck you.
automaton ones or whatever, and I was like, and it was on the easiest difficulty.
Yeah, they're
and I was getting
I've never won a
fucking
mission.
Raped.
Yeah.
And they were like, and then I was reading some stuff, and they're like, yeah, you can't do the automaton missions by yourself. Like it's impossible.
Can't even do it with a squad.
And
We've tried.
so like they're like, so basically they're, so I should have started by going and playing the bug missions.
Yeah,
which,
dude.
Which in hindsight, I kind of want to go back and try that. Because the game is cool. Like, I like everything about it. I just haven't been able to have a good experience with it yet. And of course, like, when you die, another thing that I kind of wish about this game, and I don't have any experience with it, so I can't really complain too much about it, but they give you, if you don't exfil, you get nothing. And
if you're by yourself.
Yeah. So, like, I was like, so I struggled with this mission, running around like a fucking lunatic, calling in stuff just to get health packs, and
you played
and then, like,
the wrong mission, man.
So, like, I'm like getting my ass canned for like 20 minutes, and then at the end of it, it's like 0 XP, 0 blah blah blah, 0 whatever. Like, I literally got nothing out of doing that, and I was like, "Fuck, is this what the game is like?"
No.
So. But I did read about it, and it seems like I just had a bad experience. I just need to focus my attention elsewhere.
Dude, I'm so disappointed.
I am going to try that.
Yeah.
But what I've heard, Fred, is that part of the reason why we were having, and I didn't, after like Tuesday, I didn't try at all to play it. I was like, I need to get through Immortals of Avium before Final Fantasy comes out. Then I can try to play some more Helldivers. But I heard that part of the reason why people were struggling to get on is because of the server connection issues. People were logging in and just leaving their consoles on.
Yeah, I heard
with it
this.
connected and not getting out. And I guess over the last few days, Arrowhead patched the game so it will actually boot AFK players after they've, been idle for 20 or 15 minutes or something like that.
Someone needs...
And I guess...
Go ahead.
I guess since then it hasn't been so bad getting on.
Yeah.
But I haven't tried it.
Yeah, neither have I. Someone needs to make a meme of Helldivers sitting on a school bus and another one trying to sit down, and then the one sitting down is being like, seats taken. Fucking Forrest Gump. Seats taken. Just like, fuck, let me in, But,
and it wouldn't surprise me if, like, on PC there's like freaking bots holding queues and shit like that. Like
Christ.
that. Like, I mean, obviously I don't know, but and I heard a lot of this boils down to them using some antiquated game engine for this game that's like not supported anymore. And so like the Arrowhead guys have to literally go into the game engine and modify it to help with like the connection issues, because it's not the server capacities that are a problem. It's the number of people trying to connect simultaneously is what I understand the crux of the issue is. So, yeah, I don't know. I do want to play some more of it, but I haven't gotten into it. So
what South Park game was it Stick of Truth that you beat, or Fractured Butthole?
So we just beat Stick of Truth, which is the first one, and then I downloaded but have not started yet the Fractured.
I thought you had already beaten Stick of Truth once.
I did a long time ago.
All right,
when it was
I'm just
out
making
on
sure
PS3.
I understood what you were saying. I thought I did.
I've played both of them.
Yeah.
I've played both of them. I saw that it was on PS Plus Extra, and I was just like, fuck, man, I need something. Because I just got done playing Death Stranding and shit. It's like all this like really depressing shit that I was playing. And then I was just like, I want to play something that's just fun. And so like I decided to jump back into that and really enjoyed it.
Very good.
Then Sarah started watching it and she really wanted me to play it. So I was like, all right, well, I'll play it all the way through and then we'll play the second one, because she didn't see either of them. So
yeah.
Well,
that's
and those
fun.
games are just... Dude, they are out of pocket with some of the fucking humor in those games. It is just wild. But
it is crazy how South Park gets a pass on a lot of the shit they say. You know what I mean? And do it's just fucking funny. You know?
It's because I think it's because they abuse all sides evenly.
Yeah.
Like nobody really, has any sort of like bias angle to
doesn't feel like there's any
them.
kind of fucking agenda. They're just laughing at the world.
Yeah, and I like that there is somebody like that out there.
100%.
That everybody just kind of mutually agrees is just, they hand out the lumps universally, and that's a good thing. I think.
Yeah.
Everybody deserves it a little bit.
I agree. That's fun. All right. Well, let's talk about some news. There's no listener feedback, so if you want to feedback on it, we had kind of a weird podcast last episode. We just kind of off the top were doing stuff, but we're back to the normal format. So thanks for tolerating that. But yeah, it had very minimal views and listens. So we're back. We tried something different. Didn't work. Let's do some news. Every episode we talk about PlayStation news, and we appreciate you all listening, of course. And if there's anything specific you ever want us to talk about, write in, and we'll definitely broach the topic if we think it would fit well on the show. First news point, Jake, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is finally getting some reviews. The game, like you said, doesn't release until the 29th, later this week. But, yeah, people are saying it's from what I've read, it's taking a natural progression from the remake or whatever the hell it was called, and they're also saying that it's a little how to better phrase it, but it is different, and they are also saying, from what the Push Square review said, that there were a lot of pointless side quests, which we know does not float well with me. So,
just don't do them.
You just not
it's kind of like the first.
Unless you have to do them to level
game.
up. You know, that's the thing.
Well, you could just grind combat. I don't know that you necessarily need to do quests to do that. But yeah, I obviously I don't know because I haven't played it. But yeah, I mean, it's sitting in the low to mid 90s on Metacritic and OpenCritic,
which is
so
really
that's pretty freaking good. And I haven't watched any reviews on it. Honestly, I don't want to see anything about it. I just kind of want to jump in because I know I'm going to love it. So I am just really... And it comes out on a weird day. It comes out on like fucking Thursday. I think it comes out on the 29th, right? Which is Thursday. It's such a bizarre day for a game to come out. But I'm going to give me a couple extra days to finish up what I'm doing because my guess is that once I jump into this game, it's all I'm going to probably play for 2 months.
Yeah.
Because they just take so long to beat.
I guess there was, from what I read, there were like a lot of memes going out because I guess Tifa's in it, and she's, pretty big chested apparently, and tons of memes about it, and it's like like you can't not notice it, and it's like, why did they do that? It's weird. That's the Japanese.
Why
thing.
did they do what?
Make her have huge fucking boobs. Like she's,
dude, it's the same model as the first game.
They're saying that they've made them bigger.
I don't believe that. I mean, why would they do that?
Well, that's why the memes are out there. Like, yeah, she looks like she came out of Dead or Alive, like the volleyball game, like 100%. Like, look it up. It's weird. I don't think anyone's upset about it. You know what I mean? But it's like, that's kind of strange. Go to the Push Square site. There's an article about it. I had to watch some of those videos.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. They said like everybody's like feeds were blowing up about Tifa and her anatomy, if that's the right word. I don't know, but they're just like there's weird scenes of her doing like fucking sit-ups, and it's just like the physics are real there. You know what I mean? Like, and it's just like, why would they do that? And it's weird. I don't know.
It's strange. I mean, maybe once I play it, I'll have a little bit more to talk about. But just what I've seen, just kind of like I just thought it looked like the first game. But I mean, maybe I'm, maybe I'm not that focused on her chest when I'm playing the game.
Yeah, right. Well, neither am I. I'm riffing off the article on Push Square. You know, rumor is it like people are like, whoa. You know,
the reason, dude, I don't know.
It's like a Japanese thing, dude, for sure.
Isn't it? Don't you almost feel like if people just like didn't,
if no one talked about it, it wouldn't be a thing.
I don't know.
But here I go talking about it. We're talking about the game, and this is of all the fucking things that could probably be said about this game. Like that was like the content creator focus in the memes that came out of it. It's just like talking about Tifa. And it's like, God damn, we need to grow up just a little bit. But it is weird. I mean, I don't know. It's like changing Spider-Man's face. Like, it's just like, I don't know why they did it. They never even really came out to really say they did. They said like something like they wanted it to, I don't know what the reason was. I can't remember. I thought they wanted to
Are you sure it's not just because I'm looking at some of this shit on Push Square, and it looks like a lot of what they're referring to are like these like additional outfits that she's wearing, where she's got like fucking swimsuits and shit on. Is that what they're referring to?
I thought they were talking about her breast size. I thought they were saying.
Well, I mean, it's obviously pronounced in these particular outfits, but
right.
I don't know. We don't have to fucking float on this.
I just bit my lip thinking about it.
No, I just think that it's. God damn. I don't know. I mean, but this has been like it's weird. It's like an aspect of Tifa's character that's existed since the original game in 1997 or whatever. But
dude, it's just art style. It's literally the art style of like every.
I mean, if you think of even like they don't do it as much in Final Fantasy VII, but if you think about like Final Fantasy 16, like that whole game, you're just like fucking staring at Clive's rippling chest muscles and all this shit. So it's like okay. I mean,
there is some sexualization going on for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it is. I just. I'm okay with them memeing the shit out of this. I just don't want it to become like a stain on this game that is like I'm just curious. I guess what I'm driving at is I'm just curious how much it actually matters and how much of it is just like, whatever, internet stuff.
I don't think it matters at all.
Dude, boobies always matter.
All right, moving on. There is a game that my brother I heard about it from him first, and then I got on looking for things to talk about. And this game is called Unicorn Overlord, and I thought it was a really dumb name when he was telling me about this game. I'm like, why the fuck is it called Unicorn Overlord?
That's the one that's made by the
Valueware,
team that did Dragon's Crown. They did that. Remember that game, Dragon's Crown? It came out on PS3.
Yeah, it was like
Vita.
Golden Axe.
It was like, yeah,
it was awesome.
I think it's a team that did that.
I don't think it is. I think this is
the art style looks the same.
Well, anyways, right. He was telling me that like he really thought that this game was going to be a game for me to play. He said there's a demo out, and then I got on. It does look exactly. It's made by Vanillaware.
Yeah, same studio.
Okay. I said did Dragon's Crown. I meant Vanillaware. Yeah. So they're based out of Osaka, Japan. But the game apparently is catching a lot of people's attention. And I haven't played the demo, but I really want to.
Talk about games with fucking big booby characters in it. You remember the freaking one chick in Dragon's Crown?
Oh, yeah. Like the witchy lady?
Yeah, well,
in the red?
Yeah, I don't remember which one it was, but there was the one character you could play as. She was she's bursting at the seams,
fucking stacked to the nines.
Yeah, but this game does look awesome. I like that it seems like it's a little bit more. It looks a little bit more tactical.
Yeah, it looks good.
Than Dragon's Crown, which was more of an action RPG. So this is it looks interesting as shit for sure.
Yeah,
it's just got a weird name. Like,
well, and I asked him, I said, what the hell? And he goes, well, if you think about it, like, medieval days, like maybe the unicorn is like their house emblem. And I'm like, that kind of makes sense. And I was like, do you think like the title is like a weird, whatever it's called, translation or something? You know what I mean? Like maybe it just is a misinterpretation of like what that is. And he goes, no, I think it probably has something to do with the House of Unicorn or like some sort of, It's probably one of those things like a lot of these Japanese names where like to us in the West, it's a very weird thing to name something. Mm-hmm. And like, even if it makes context, even if it's in context with the story, we in the West would never name something like this if we wanted it to sell. Right.
Just because of the way that we market games and the way that we take what types of symbolism and verbiage and stuff that we take as like serious versus silly. Like our perception of these things in the West, I think, is very different than what it is in the East.
Right.
Like in Japan, they could see a name like Unicorn Overlord and think like, oh yeah, that's serious, or that's whatever. Whereas like in the West, we're thinking of like our first image is
My Little Pony.
Little girls, playing with fucking toys,
Like
when they're 5 years old or something.
princess shit. Yeah.
Right. So like, I think that's just really what it boils down to. But the game looks great.
Yeah. It does look awesome.
I don't think the name's offensive, but like the first time I heard this name, I didn't even look into it because I was like, oh, that's probably some fucking weird thing. And that's my own bias, I guess. But now that like I'm looking it up, because I'd heard that I was like that people say like, oh, that Unicorn Overlord game's fucking awesome. I was like, all right, I'll look at it, I guess. And
yeah, sure it is, buddy.
Like,
yeah, right.
And I looked it up and I was like, oh wow, this actually looks fucking dope.
Yeah, it does look awesome. All right, anyways, that's out there. If you guys are interested in something like that, it looks really cool. Moving into another bigger news point, which it should come as no surprise to anybody, but the Suicide Squad sales have been really lackluster, and Warner Brothers issued a statement indicating that the game has fallen short of their expectations, and it will now be leaving the company in a position that's going to create a really difficult year for them. So, I mean, I didn't get this game. The reviews actually weren't I don't know what they were. I don't remember them being really harsh, but the game just isn't what people wanted. I remember when the very first trailer came out that was kind of like, I forget, it was like a cinematic kind of thing for this, and they were kind of getting into like, oh, we're working on this fucking game. Like the interest was peaked. Everyone was fucking jazzed about it, but then the first gameplay thing came out, and everyone was like, this looks a little weird. But I don't know.
The reviews were kind of, I don't want to say mid because they weren't that bad, but they were like kind of like sevens.
Yeah, around the
7.5. Like, yeah, nothing that's gonna light the world on fire. And I think that the only thing that was gonna save this game was like the casual player that just likes superhero shit. And it sounds like maybe that's not working because the hardcore, the people that loved Arkham, they're not gonna probably buy this.
Right.
Or if they wanted a game like that.
Yeah, it's just not the same kind of stuff. You know what I mean? It's just different, man.
It's a bummer. I kind of wish it had succeeded. Not because I wanted another game like this, a live service game like this. I would have rather like a single player sort of more linear kind of experience. But dude, been working on this game for fucking 8 or 9 years.
Well, that's where the money went. So yeah, I mean,
this could close that studio, which Rocksteady is one of the. I don't know why it's one of the most beloved studios in the industry because they really are hanging their hat on like one game essentially that they just expanded into larger and larger game. But I don't know. This is definitely interesting, but not necessarily surprising.
Right. Yeah. Well, worthy to talk about briefly on the show. So there's the very predictable outcome from that game, unfortunately. Moving forward, Jake, we had also talked about this documentary that Hideo Kojima was going to be in or was going to be about him or whatever. It's called Connecting Worlds. And it features him, and it's actually now available, and you can stream it on Disney Plus. Now, I would love to watch this. I don't think we have a Disney Plus subscription at this time, unfortunately. So I wonder what people have to say about it. I haven't really seen opinions on it. I'm going to look it up right now. Connecting Worlds Disney Plus review. User reviews. It says on IMDb a 7 out of 10. A journey into the creative mind of the most iconic video game designer in the world. The visually captivating documentary gives a rare insight into Hideo Kojima's creative process as he launches his own independent studio. This must have been filmed like when he started Kojima Productions and now just coming out. It says it just references the original Death Stranding, it looks like. So here's a review.
I think you can. It looks like I'm on Hulu, and it looks like I can watch it.
Wow, this person gave it a 10 out of 10 on IMDb, and this was like a rated critic. That's interesting. No, that's a user.
Yeah, I don't know. I saw this last night. Sarah and I were looking for something to watch, and I just stumbled across this on Hulu. And I was like, "Oh, that seems kind of cool." I mean, we ended up watching. I wasn't gonna make Sarah sit through that, so we ended up watching like some fucking National Geographic shit. But it, definitely something that I want to check out just to kind of see, what it's all about. I'm sure that like nothing is going to be said in here that's bad about Hideo Kojima, because I'm sure he's probably like a fucking producer on it or some shit. But
well, the other
even
thing is
still,
too,
like
yeah.
just getting some of the story would be cool,
Yeah, dude. The other thing about it that's interesting is that, like, I feel like it's going to take stuff like this to make the video game industry be seen differently from the average person. You know what I mean? Like, to realize how much goes into it and how much work it is and the thought and like the process and the art and then the direction and the creativity. You know what I mean? Like, I think there's still a stigma with a lot of people that video games are like for losers and for nerds only and for people who are recluse and people who, I guess, are not, usually I feel like if there's a Venn diagram with the different circles, you'd have like, where would video games intersect? And I think that they, from the perspective of like a non-gamer or from a cell phone gamer, would be like, I don't think video gamers would cross in that diagram with people who are interested in sports. I don't think video games would cross in that diagram from the perspective of gamers, like people like you, Jake, like into like fucking going on motorcycle tracks and racing around in real life. Like, I don't think that the stigma has been broken yet for video games. And I think things like this can help foster like a better understanding of like why they're so fucking interesting and good. You know what I mean? Even like all the Sony Pictures stuff, like, I know the Gran Turismo movie's now available to watch on streaming platforms, and I meant to watch it, and I haven't watched it yet. But like Sony pushing the Last of Us TV show, doing the Road One, whatever thing, I can't remember what that game's called. With Sweet Tooth, what the fuck is that game called?
Twisted Metal.
Yeah, Twisted Metal shit. Doing the Uncharted movie, doing the other one, I can't remember what it was, but yeah, just all the things that Sony has been pushing, and then like showing, like bridging that gap between different levels of entertainment. And I still 100% believe that there's a stigma, dude. Like when I'm at work and someone was like, "You have a podcast, don't you?" I'm like, "Yeah," and they're like, "What's it about?" And I'm like, "Nah, we talk about video games." Like, I just instantly feel like they're like, fucking dweeb, fucking loser. Like, you know what I mean? Like, these are other adults, obviously. But, like, people who aren't into it, I think they just have a general perception. It's like, oh, that's cool. This guy likes games. You know? I don't know.
I think some of that is our own insecurities that we've carried from
when shit was like
being younger.
Yeah.
And it was less. I do think that it's becoming more mainstream.
100%. I love it.
Especially as kids, the first generation that grew up with video games is basically us, and we're essentially
trailblazers, dude.
Essentially adults now. And I think the stigma lies basically in the 50 plus community. I don't know that there's a lot of, 30-year-olds that are judging people for playing video games.
Yeah.
It's mostly like people from the generation. I guess technically you're probably what? You're probably late Gen X and I'm early millennial. So, but our age group was kind of like the first sort of like you're like late Gen Xers were the first to really get into video games. And I mean, I had a Super Nintendo when I was 4 years old, 5 years old.
Yeah,
so
I told the Pitfall story on the show a long time ago. Do you remember my Pitfall story on Atari? I can make it quick.
I don't remember.
But you're right. Yeah. So the instruction manual for Pitfall for Atari said, see if you can beat this high score. And it was like, take a picture of your high score. And if it's higher than this and you send it in, we will send you something like a prize. That's the fucking level of video game shit. So like we beat it. We got really good at this fucking game, but we were renting it from the movie stop. Atari games. Like somehow we were renting Atari games. I don't remember how this happened. Maybe we had it. No, I think we owned Pitfall. Sorry. We owned Pitfall. We finally beat the score. We take a picture. It then has to be developed. And when it comes back like a month and a half later, because the camera roll hadn't been used up, we send it in and we got this really nice letter saying, oh, good job on beating the high score. Unfortunately, all the prizes are gone now. And it's just like, fuck. But like that was the level of like at home video gaming that we were doing. No fucking internet, no anything. And like, yeah, dude, to be along for the ride this whole time has been really fun. And you're right, we are kind of trailblazers. And I think that like, I think that at a certain point in people's lives, there was a point where like kids who grew up with video games either jumped off the bandwagon and were like, that's for kids. Kind of like action figure shit and like stuff. They're just like, nope, I'm going to become an adult now. And then that created the divide. I think if all of us had just stayed interested, we wouldn't be as big of a fucking deal. But I don't know. But there definitely was always like a thing like this is for kids. This is a way for kids to like fuck off. You know what I mean? But that's not the case now. Like there's a lot of stuff that actually isn't meant for kids in the video game world. So weird.
Heck yeah. I think speaking to Hideo Kojima, starting really with like Metal Gear Solid.
Right.
I mean, that was like the first game that was, I don't want to say it's the first game, but it was like one of the first games that was really like a cinematic, mature experience.
Yeah.
And now that's a big part of the industry.
Yeah, it really is, man.
I don't know, man. I have to imagine probably over the next 20 years, people aren't even going to think about it. They're going to have video games in fucking nursing homes and like all kinds of shit. And I
hope so.
I really think that we're headed to like a singularity with video games almost, where it's just like they're just another thing, like watching TV. Because that's the one thing that I never really understood about the whole like critique of video games. Because it's like the same people that criticize somebody for playing 2 hours of video games every day are the same people that sit there and watch fucking television for 2 or 3 hours a day.
Yeah, just binge fucking Netflix. Yeah, right.
And it's like, at least what I'm doing, there's some sort of tactile component to it, where it's like you've got to use your brain and your hand-eye coordination and everything.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, no, don't get me wrong. I mean, if you want to turn around and say like, well, I watch 3 hours of TV a day, but all I watch is fucking, super educational documentaries,
Jeopardy
and I'm
and
expanding my
History
brain the
Channel.
whole time.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, well, maybe you're utilizing your time better than I am because you're doing that. But most people are watching freaking Stranger Things and, whatever procedural cop show is on TV or fucking Forensic Files and shit. They're not watching, these crazy,
how-to
Tiger
videos,
King.
right? Well, and that's the thing about video games too. And dude, we can go on to the next topic in a second, but like even like down to not that we need to be educated on weaponry and shit, but like even landscapes and like locations, like you can learn a lot. Like those Assassin's Creed games, you know what I mean, are interesting because they take place in different places across the world. And you can learn a lot of shit from them. And like the old World War II games, you can learn the names and the weaponry that was used back then. So if you're kind of like a history guy, like to be able to like look at all that shit is kind of fun. I don't know. They can be educational in such an amazing way, and it's done in such an ancillary way that you don't even realize you're learning. And I think that's the beauty of them. Oregon Trail as kids, dude. Like, yeah. I mean, we learned, but we fucking loved that game. It taught us how fucking hard it was, to fucking settle and travel in the unpopulated America.
Dude, imagine if you were a history teacher. Like, wouldn't it be awesome if part of your agenda for the year, what do they call that?
Curriculum.
Your curriculum was that, like, the kids, what was that game we were just talking about?
Immortals of Avium?
No.
Assassin's Creed?
No. So what if, like, part of your curriculum was that you had all of the kids play Valiant Hearts when you're covering World War I?
Be so good.
And it's like the game is, it's a game, but it is a game at heart, but the game is filled with fucking
educational shit, dude.
Like real letters from World War I and all this shit. Or think about, like, if we want to stick with the World War I angle, it's like, think about Battlefield 1.
Yeah.
Like that might be a little bit harder for, like, casuals to play because it's a first-person shooter and the controls are difficult for someone who's not used to that. But all of the, I don't know if you remember, but if I remember correctly, all the episodes from that game are based on real things that happened.
Correct, yeah. Real battles and
shit. Like, real stories from World War I. So I think that there are ways that video games can be utilized in a fashion that they are educational. And I get it that not everyone wants to experience their history that way. And, it's obviously it's not going to be for everyone. But, dude, I mean, even back when we were kids playing fucking Number Cruncher on, like, the Apple II and, like...
dude, Mavis Beacon teaches typing?
Yeah, like Mavis Beacon.
the fucking typing programs that would, like type...
Carmen Sandiego.
Yeah, like Type Shark.
All those games.
Like, there was, like, this game like Type Shark. Like, all these different... you'd be a shark, and there'd be all these little mini fish, and they would have different parts of the keyboard on them, like the capital P, lowercase L, bracket. And, like, they'd come flying at you, and if you hit the right keys, the shark would go eat it. And, like, the goal was to not starve. So you're sitting there, and you're fucking, like, as a kid, just... like, trying to beat the fucking game and rack up points, but they're secretly teaching you how to type and how to know the keyboard. And it's like, that kind of learning is like, it resonates more with some people. And
I mean, think about like a physics class, and you play a game like Kerbal Space Program.
Yeah, dude.
We are, like, learning how rockets work and thrust and propulsion and all that shit. I mean, I don't know. There are just so many ways you could do this. On, like, a side note, my brother sent me a picture the other day, a couple days ago, of my nephew Nolan. He's 4. He has been playing this game for a while. That's like this. It's based on this dinosaur, like, TV show for kids. There's a PlayStation game that's based on it, and they got the platinum in that game. That's awesome. My brother sent me a picture that was just like Nolan's first platinum, and it was just a picture of him with a screenshot of the platinum, which is fucking cool. I mean, I just think that, like, when kids like him grow up to be our age, I think it's just going to be ubiquitous.
Yeah.
I mean, unless like literally freaking, China conquers the world and doesn't let anybody play video games anymore or something like that. Like, I think that in the next 20 years, we're just going to see that, it's just going to be everyday life. No one's going to think about it.
Right. No,
which is good.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Sorry, I'm muting this. My phone was making noise. Yeah, dude, I think it's interesting. But let's get to the next news topic, man. We talked briefly about this before the news section here, Jake, but I just want to recap so that listeners fully understand. So the Helldivers thing, based on the title of the show, I think it was like Hell's getting a glow up. News on the Super Earth front is that Arrowhead Studios have recently been actively patching this game, and now they are kicking inactive players. But what we didn't talk about before is that they also still increased the server cap to 700,000. So it really should not be an issue moving forward getting into these. And I see right now on Discord that, well, he's not on now, but when we started the show, LJ was in the middle of Helldivers. So he's able to get on. He's playing on PS5. So if you want to get back in, I don't think you're going to have any problems. And I also saw something interesting about like a single player, like a story, like not single player, but a story thing. Let me see if I have an email about it from PlayStation. First of all, I got a really interesting email from PlayStation. So PlayStation knows what games you're playing, right? So I got this email, and it says, "We salute you, a well-deserved promotion in Helldivers 2." And it's almost like they gave me a new helmet. It said, you now go by Grand Lord Anchorless _81. You are elite amongst the elite, a hammer of justice, blitzer of bugs and bots, but this is only the beginning, Commander. You have a long and alien-busting career ahead. And it says, community challenge, new rank, new fun. It says, strap in for a long ride in hell. This war is just getting started. Here's the latest intel on what's going down in the galaxy. Dive into the latest story arc. Celebration's over. Your rank is called to action on the battlefield. And it says, go for the epitome of Super Earth trophy. You have 18 trophies left. And then it's talking about, like, it's really weird. Like, I kind of get the idea that they're implementing some kind of story arc into this game. I would love, and people are starting to notice, like, in your ship, people would post on Reddit recently, like, oh, I just noticed this in my ship. There's like now a cargo bay for vehicles, but like you can't unlock them, but the bay's now just showing up. And like there's like something else just showing up in your ship's so like Arrowhead are fucking cooking up more shit to put out on this thing, which is awesome. Like these things with these patches, they're secretly feathering in things of things to come. So that's exciting. So just a quick shout out to Helldivers 2 again. This game is just, it's fucking right, PlayStation, because they did the right thing here. And this is like a paid game, but I believe in the long run it will make a lot of money, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's really popular. I have to imagine that it's probably already profitable. I mean, people are loving it. So
yeah, dude, they're gonna have to come up with new enemies. Like, you know, there's just gonna be like, oh shit, there's a new invasion now, and it's gonna be some other fucking kind of bug or flying bugs or something crazy.
The fucking Wiggles.
The Wiggles.
Or
dude.
it's you know,
Barney.
Pokemon.
Fucking Barney. All right, let's get on to the next news point. We're an hour into the show now, so we won't take up too much more of your time. New PSVR 2 games were announced at the 1-year anniversary of the hardware. These games are The Wizards, Dark Times Brotherhood, which is out now. Shadow dropped, kind of. Wanderer, The Fragments of Fate, June 27th, which is like a World War II game, but in a way that you're a time traveler and you can like somehow zap into the future to get advanced weaponry and then go back to World War II and use it, which is kind of fucking interesting.
Wait, what's it called?
Wanderer, The Fragments of Fate. And
Weird.
it's about like changing. The trailer's kind of, it looks all right, but like the voiceover sucks on the trailer, but the idea looks cool. It comes out June 27th, so I don't know if it's out on Steam for other VR or not, but this was announced recently for PSVR 2. Little Cities Bigger, March 12th, which looks like a SimCity thing, but like smaller than SimCity, like a little more concise. Zombie Army VR is coming out 2024. Arizona Sunshine 2, we're getting DLC called the Season of Chaos, which is out now, and then we're also getting Soul Covenant in 2024. So nice little six game announcement that Sony made at the advent of the 1-year anniversary of the PSVR 2 hardware. Jake, anything on this?
Um, well, it looks like a lot of these games are either already or going to be released on Steam, which is cool. There's a lot of crossover going on. It seems like they're not really focusing, at least anymore, on PSVR 2 exclusives, which is probably no one's going to buy. I'm guessing a PSVR 2 for any one specific game, so this is probably the best way for them to go about it. But some of these games look pretty cool. Like that Wizards game looks pretty neat.
Yeah.
The Wanderer game looks really neat. I haven't really looked too much into the other ones, but yeah, I mean, I would love to see this I don't know if you want to call it a console or this device or whatever, have a little bit more success in the industry, for sure.
Yeah, very good. Very good. In other PSVR 2 news, this is really kind of interesting to me. While I don't think I'll be able to benefit from it directly, they are testing VR2 compatibility for PC. Sony has announced this. And I think that they're hoping within the year they're going to make it some way to make it compatible with PC. So that would mean probably Steam VR games, which means Half-Life Alyx, we might get a way to do it.
Yeah. So, thankfully, if this works and they come out with this, I'm pretty sure my PC is beefy enough that I could run my VR on it to play Half-Life Alyx, and that will be the first fucking thing I do if it becomes available. And to be honest with you, like, this is the only way that this platform is going to survive.
Right.
It's a great headset. It's only $550, which I know sounds like a lot, but in the grand scheme of things, if you look at like the top of the line MetaQuest, the top of the line Vive, like they're more expensive or around the same price, and they're not as good as the PlayStation headset. So I think that is it ever gonna break the mold like the MetaQuest does? No, because literally anyone can play that without a PC, without a PlayStation, without anything. But this headset is better, and there are lots of people that would probably buy one if they had a gaming PC. So
Right.
because it's cheaper and it's better than maybe some of the other options on PC. So I'm excited to see this work, and if it does come through and it does become compatible, you better believe I'm going to check it out. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, dude. And I think that just making it integrate with PC wouldn't be enough to work with Half-Life Alyx. I'm sure they would have to implement some sort of patch to that game also to make it run with that headset. Now, I'm not sure, but I mean, at that point, I mean, the incentive is there for sure. Maybe this is half the driving factor, you know? But
I would imagine. I would imagine that Valve would, if they're not going to do the heavy lift of putting it on freaking PlayStation, at least they might do the lift of patching the game to work with VR2 on PC if it even needs patched.
Right.
Maybe it'll just work natively. I don't know.
Yeah, it's hard to say. All right, well, let's move in a little bit further, Jake. Well, you and I had previously discussed that big rumor, the tall rumor about games coming to Xbox. Now, I don't think we actually had ever come out and confirmed the 4 games. That now this is confirmed. The 4 Xbox games that are coming to PS5, PS4 are Grounded, Pentiment, Hi-Fi Rush, and Sea of Thieves. All probably pretty decent games. So I don't think we actually named the games yet on the show. So those were the ones.
Yeah, I think we did talk about that last week, or 2 weeks ago. I don't know.
I knew we talked that it was going to happen, but we didn't know. I think the rumors were maybe the Indiana Jones and like fucking whatever the space game that came out that didn't do very well from Bethesda.
I'm pretty sure Starfield. I'm pretty sure that I did mention last week that I thought these were the 4 games that were rumored.
You might have. Yeah, you probably did. Well, now it's confirmed, I guess, so we don't need to talk about it anymore.
Yeah, and I did see that Pentiment is out now on PlayStation.
Oh, wow.
And it's for like $20, I think. If you're into like a cool time period, murder mystery kind of game, adventure style game. Uh, Pick it up because it's really neat. If I'm being completely honest, I did play like the first act of that game. I never did finish it because I was playing it on my phone, but
Yeah.
I did play it and it is kind of neat. But when Hi-Fi Rush comes out, if it's not out already, definitely play that one.
Very good. Cool, man. Moving forward, we brought up this game last episode, and you were like, "I'm just gonna forget that this was even a thing until I hear something else about it." Coincidentally enough, the Little Devil Inside now has an update on Kickstarter and a brand new trailer that's really long. And damn, the studio NeoStream reports that they actually beefed up their studio to get this game made, and now they've slimmed it back down, and they're searching for a publisher. And they say once that's locked in, they can give us more info. And that's all they said. But I am presuming that what they are hinting at is when they lock in a publisher, they'll be able to give us a release date or an anticipated window. And they're not going to do that. And they did apologize that it's been a long time since they've offered anything on the game. But, it sounds like their studio went through kind of a weird time where they beefed up and then they had to make some cuts, or maybe they contracted people, right, for this from the studios, my guess. And under the premise that, hey, when you guys achieve such and such goal with this game, we're going to let you go. But they said like all the original people who had come up with this game, who've been working on it from day one, are still at the studio. So it sounds like they just contracted some work out, the way it's worded. But that's cool. Looks good.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of worried that this game has been in development. I think this game was kickstarted in like 2015 or something.
No, before it was shown at the PlayStation thing. Yeah, the showcase or whatever.
Yeah, so it's been in development for a long time, and they're looking for a publisher. Like, my guess is that Sony backed out on this because they were marketing the shit out of it and all this stuff when it first came out. And so I don't know if Sony was involved from a publishing role or not, but it looks like they're trying to find somebody else to help them pay for it or get it out there. I hope that it's good because it looks cool. And we'll just have to see. My guess is that it's probably going to still be a while before this game comes out. I just hope that it's a good when it does come out.
Yeah. I'll say this, that it looks pretty, and they're using Unreal Engine 5, apparently. And the thing that's interesting about it is that the combat, it looks kind of, it looks a little jank. It looks like Little Big Planet combat or something. Like it looks like it's weird gravity or something. Like it doesn't look like it. And of course, this isn't the finished game, but it is a trailer for people who've kickstarted it to see what the studio's been working on, where they're at with it. So some of the combat looks a little. It doesn't feel like it has a lot of weight to it. I don't know if that makes sense. I don't know. To me, at least. Like I feel like I've played a game that looks how this handles in combat, and I didn't like it.
Yeah, it's got a weird isometric viewpoint too, which obviously makes things kind of more difficult. But it looks like graphically, it looks fucking cool.
Yeah, it's so original.
So I'm really interested to see how this game plays out for sure.
Very good, man. All right, and then lastly, last news point before we talk about the new games coming out this week is Pacific Drive, the driving game, the driving survival game that we were both really interested in, is out, and it's getting good reviews. Push Square gave it an 8 out of 10. It sounds like the only major faults are like the UI is a little clunky, but the gameplay itself, like it's all pretty solid, and the progression feels natural and good, and like all the upgrades are pertinent. Like there's not a lot of fluff as far as like specking out your car for things. Like it everything is cool and useful. So it sounds good, man. I don't know.
Yeah, it's got a looks like it's got a 78 on OpenCritic right now, which doesn't mean it's a bad game. It's probably still really good. It kind of has that. It has that sort of AA vibe to it, so I guess I could kind of see that. This is one of those games that it doesn't look like a game for me, but it does look cool. Like it's a game that I want to see succeed because we need to have more games like this out there.
Yeah.
But I probably am not going to play this unless something really compels me to, just because it doesn't look like a game for me.
Right.
But it does look cool from like an outside perspective, from just like an appreciator of games.
I'm really interested in this game still. I don't know if I would like it or not. I'm not a car guy, but I don't know. I like the idea of it, but I don't know. This is bound to come to Essentials or something at some point, my guess. The way Sony's been advertising it a lot. Let's get into new games. So every episode we talk about new games coming out, and this episode is no different. So starting off February 27th, Age of Wonders 4, Primal Fury on PS5, Beats VR, PSVR 2, and Bio Inc. Redemption, PS5, PS4. Also, February 28th, Arcade Archives Face Off, PS4. Brothers, A Tale of Two Sons Remake, PS5. Wow, that came quick. Pekka A Deadly Hand on PS5, PS4. Star Wars Dark Forces Remaster, PS5, PS4. Tokyo Revengers Last Mission, PS5, PS4. February 29th, Anglerfish, PS5, PS4. Bar Stella Abyss, PS5, PS4. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, PS5. Welcome to Paradise, PSVR 2. March 1st, Mediterranea Inferno, PS5. And lastly, Euphoria, spelled incorrectly, Ufouria, The Saga 2, PS5. There's a couple standouts. Nice. Not a bad week. I'm curious about this Beat the Beats VR. Any kind of rhythm game in VR would be fun. I don't know what it is, though. The Brothers game, I played the original. I really enjoyed it. I'm not sure that it needed a remake, but fuck, well, hopefully that does well. I mean, it's going up against pretty much Final Fantasy Rebirth and this Star Wars game, the Dark Forces Remaster. Wasn't there a game already called Tokyo something?
I don't know.
Not Tokyo Drift. PlayStation.
Well, there's
game.
Tokyo RP. There's Tokyo Jungle.
That's what I'm thinking. Thank you. Tokyo Jungle. This is called Tokyo Revengers. Revenger is a cool name. I like it. I don't know. That'd actually be a really good band name, Revenger.
Yeah, that would be neat.
All right. Well, that's all I got. Jake, do you have anything to say about these games, or do you want to get to the closing?
I was a huge fan of when I was a kid. I loved Dark Forces. So whether or not I'll get to this right away, I would like to check out the Dark Forces remaster, because that game is it's built on like the Doom engine, and you could tell very obviously whenever you like look gameplay of it. But it is a very cool game, old school first person shooter in the the Star Wars universe. So I'm into that. Obviously, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is cool. And what else on here? Nothing really. Like you, I played Brothers, and it didn't really sit with me. I mean, I thought it was fine. I thought it was a decent game, but I didn't like how you had to like control both brothers at the same time. And
it was creative.
It was creative, but it was a little frustrating in that regard. So that's kind of where I'm at with it.
Yeah. Very good. That's it. That's all we got for the show today, ladies and germs. I don't have anything else to add, except I hope everybody has an awesome week. Jake, you didn't respond, so I'm not sure how you feel about it. We'll talk about it after the show real quick, just about the eclipse is coming up. So make sure you guys don't miss that. April. There's an eclipse coming in April in our neck of the woods, where it's I don't know, people are getting out of work early for it, like employers letting people take the day off. It's kind of a big fucking thing. So, needless to say, I will be performing at an eclipse party. I don't know if the flood's going to be able to yet or not. We're still trying to work out the details. But, yeah, make sure you mark your calendars. It's a Monday. And just because it's in the forefront of my mind, I forgot that this was happening. I want to say it's it's April. Sorry, April 8th. So that's happening. I think it's once every, this one specifically, it's not every
200 years.
Yeah, so it is a once.
It's literally a once in a lifetime opportunity for us. It will never happen again.
Yeah, so
when we're alive.
make sure you, well, speak for yourself. I mean, I don't plan on dying, so.
I mean, unless like some technology comes out that lets us live forever or some shit. But like, I mean, the last time it happened was in fucking like 1900 or 1800 or whatever.
I'm so excited to see what this is like. We've had partial eclipses, right, where it gets dark out.
Yeah.
But this is a total.
Yeah, the last time that happened even was like I think 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So it's been a long time since we've had anything like this, and this is a fucking total eclipse, which is dope as shit. And we're all gonna get blinded by the fucking corona. People aren't gonna be using the right eyeglasses and shit. But you can look this up online. I know you can order some of those like glasses or whatever, and I'll probably order some just for fun. But you can, I believe, if you look up the right version, you can actually use like a welder's mask too.
Oh yeah,
to look at it,
to stare, because people want to be looking at the sun specifically. But this is the one where it's gonna be total blackness, where like it's getting blacked out completely, which will be cool because I hope like the street lights don't come on. Like, can you imagine how awesome that's gonna be? It might last for like a minute or something.
It's like I think if you're right in the middle, it's like 4 or 7 minutes or something like that. But yeah, it's pretty awesome. I think where we're at, it's like 3.5 minutes.
Yeah, dude, we're like in a good spot this year or this time around.
It's gonna be cool. I'm really excited to see it.
Yeah, it'll be fucking dope. It'll be really good. All right. Well, that being said, mark your calendars. April 8th. Sorry. And we're going to get out of your way. Thanks for tuning into the episode. This has been episode 317 of PS's Awesome PlayStation Podcast. We'll be back next Wednesday, just like we were last Wednesday and the Wednesdays before that. And if you want the show early, just subscribe on our Patreon. You know where to find it. If not, rewind the show. Listen to all the info I gave at the beginning. We'll catch you next week. Thank you, guys. Like zombies, Zenjin, and Zorro the Chronicles. P.S.
Yes.
This is awesome.
This is awesome.